Okay, the timer has started on the Colorado Avalanche. Now, some
They're
drama.
going to win the cup.
Well,
Sorry, producer Drew gets mad when I say that. Sorry.
we keep saying this. The big drama this summer. Gabe Landeskog, would he stay? Would he go? He stayed. He's back for a long time now. So do the Avs finally get over the hump? Cale Makar will look to take another step. Nazem Kadri will want yet another big jump after costing his team yet again in the playoffs.
No, don't jump. Stay on both skates. Do not drive upward. The flippers down. Come on, Naz. Make it through one. Well, he did, and he was very good.
I'll ask you guys where I think this team is going to finish at the end of this. Mm-hmm. But let me start with goaltending. We have not started with goaltending yet. Can a team with Darcy Kemper and Pavel Francouz win the Stanley Cup?
I think so.
Yes.
I think so, absolutely. Darcy Kemper did a lot with very little in Arizona. Sometimes that does mess with a goalie, though, because Colorado was the third best team in goals against in the entire NHL. Arizona, I believe, was bottom 10. Some goalies thrive when they're getting shelled.
Yeah.
And that's probably not going to happen here. But you never know. And Francouz has been better. He hasn't really gotten a ton of attention. It's more been the injury trouble with him. That tandem is more than good enough behind that monster of a team. Lines 1 through 4, pairings 1 through 3.
Okay, so you guys both think that they can win the cup on this one. Here's the thing. It may be that this is the year to do it. Because if you look at the contracts that are up, three specific kind of depth notes. Valerie Natushkin will be a UFA at the end of this year. Nazem Kadri coming to the end of the 5 or 6 year deal he signed with the Toronto Maple Leafs at $5.5 million.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he's a center in the NHL.
4.5.
Who can score. $4.4 million.
Sweetheart deal.
And then Andre Burakovsky, also a UFA at the end of this year. He's only 26 years old. So this is, you got to think, a go-for-it year. And by the way, Francouz and Kemper are also up at the end of this season.
Yeah, and piggybacking on that, like the reason I think that Kemper can do it and the reason that it is a go-for-it year is because of how much Joe Sakic believes in Darcy Kemper because of what he gave up for him.
That was a bidding war.
And the haul for Kemper was Connor Timmins, Liam O'Brien, a first-round pick, and a conditional third-round pick. Like, that's we're giving you everything because we just want this goalie because we just lost our starting
They were in a bidding war with the Edmonton Oilers.
Mm-hmm. Pretty rare that funny that the Edmonton Oilers are bidding for Darcy Kemper. That's I think it's interesting to me when Colorado of all the teams gives up that kind of haul. You don't see them making trades like that very often. So that's a really good point. And I wonder you look at this team all the way through. I mean, we know the offense. Like, look at this lineup, okay? So you're starting with Landeskog, McKinnon, Rantanen.
It's stupid.
And then you go with Natushkin, Kadri, Burakovsky, the all-UFA line.
It's a really good line.
And then Tyson Yost, Alex Newhook, TJ Compher, and then Darren Helm, Mikhail Maltsev, and Logan O'Connor. Good depth, right?
Newhook could really take a big step for them. That'd be huge.
Well, I mean, they think they're hoping that he does they may try to re-sign Nazem Kadri, but you think Nazem Kadri's 30 years old.
Steps into that.
You probably don't want him long-term if you can help it.
You might need that money to sign Kemper.
Yes. But look at this top four. Sam Girard, Cale Makar.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that'll do.
Bowen Byram, Eric Johnson.
Bowen Byram's going to have to take a big step as well.
And then Curtis McDermott, which is an interesting pickup for them because he is a tough guy from LA, signed by Seattle, or picked up by Seattle.
Yeah, they got him from the Kraken, didn't they?
And then Ryan Murray.
Well, Adam, I think you're missing a player.
Oh, Devon Toews, excuse me.
No, you're missing another. Well, yeah, Devon Toews he's the most relevant. But Jack Johnson.
Jack Johnson's there?
Who just keeps cropping up, man.
What?
He just keeps cropping up.
Oh, he is. He's on a PTO.
Yep. I don't know what's going to happen there. Maybe he's just there to push the pace. Maybe he's there to be a depth guy. At some point, he can't be an everyday player. For the love of goodness. But I do know that's for some Avalanche fans, they're dancing, they're having a good time, and then that the memory of Jack Johnson creeps into the brain, and they go, nope, 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 and they sing the lyrics a little louder to push out the idea that might happen. They needed an improvement in net.
They did.
With Kemper, and which sounds hilarious to say because I think Grubauer was nominated for the Vezina.
Yeah, he was unbelievable.
His numbers were great, but he was not. He was the second best goalie against Vegas, like very clearly. And I know he went up against the guy who ended up winning the Vezina. But that goal, I think it was either Game 6 or Game 7 after Colorado scored, and he just lets in a stinker. Can't happen. It can't happen.
So let me ask you guys this then. You know, Nate McKinnon he's still only 26. Landeskog still only 28, signed long term.
Really?
Yeah, I know. Nathan McKinnon is only 26. He's got 2 more years left on this deal. As I told you, Kadri, Burakovsky, and Tushkin up this year. At what point do we say, okay, Colorado's got to do it now?
I think we've reached that point. I think we're in the era where Colorado needs to win. But I believe in Nathan McKinnon so much as an athlete and as a winner. I believe like he truly wants to win, and that's what he strives for. Because you debate the competitive nature of some guys, and like I don't believe at all that anything isn't 100% all the time with McKinnon. And like the fact that he's spent his whole career alongside his Tim Hortons buddy Sidney Crosby, and he's learned from that guy everything it takes to win. I think that it's eventually going to happen for McKinnon and the Avalanche because I think that's where he's going to stick around. So I think if you just keep placing, hey, this year the Avalanche are going to win the Stanley Cup. This year the Avalanche, eventually you're going to be right because they're going to get it done.
The Avs have to be careful though, because yes, they're going for it, but the way their contracts are set up, because they're only getting more expensive, and you saw that with Kel McCarr. You have this amazing core. Like, oh, Gerard's contract is so good. You have this amazing core. You got to be able to replenish the supporting cast, which we've seen some teams who play rather locally who have struggled to do that because they spent so many assets trying to go for it, right? So you had your one big play with Kemper. I'm not saying they can't go out and not do anything at the deadline, but they got to be careful.
Well, and here's the thing. What's hampering their deadline is that in 2022, they've already traded away their first rounder, their second rounder is traded, and their fourth rounder is traded. So that means you're dipping into 2023.
Or you're dipping into your prospects, which I would not do if I were them.
Okay.
Because some of the guys they got in that Duchesne deal, there's a goalie. I can't remember the name. It's a Finnish goalie. It's so good. Sorry?
Annunen?
Annunen, yes.
Annunen,
yes.
okay.
Yes, they what a haul. What a haul.
Well, and Sam Girard's playing top line minutes for them.
Yeah, it's absurd. Byram, they did need a little bit more playoff in them. Maybe Byram can provide that.
McDermott?
But that's asking. Yeah, McDermott. That's,
a little more
that's
face
asking
punching.
A lot of a kid, but yeah, I mean, that's how Vegas beat them. And then weirdly, that's how Vegas was beaten as well. It's hard. There's always a tougher guy in the playoffs.
Right. And it's a matter of how do you get around that. And again, I mean, try talking. Like, imagine going to Colorado. It's your first year there, and Nathan McKinnon walks up to you and goes, "I'm not having a beer this year. Neither are you. You're probably not having that beer, right? Like, you're not. He's so intense. There's no way that you're not following that guy."
Sometimes a quote follows a guy around, and he seems bothered by that.
Why? I think that's something to hang your hat on. Good for you.
I don't know, but I hope it doesn't mess with him, and I hope it doesn't mess with the team. The idea that he has like what was it, chickpea bread or chickpea pasta something like that. He seemed bugged by it.
Yeah, because he shut it down like immediately when they were back because it happened.
Was it Zadorov?
Zadorov said it in I think July. And then as soon as he was back doing interviews in like September, that was the first thing he answered.
Right. So not, hey, you guys won the President's Trophy and then you lost in the second round. Is I just want to clear the air that I do not have chickpea pasta.
Nothing wrong with chickpea pasta. I've had it. It's good.
Right. But the whole thing about his eating habits and eats one apple an hour and all that nonsense.
Yeah.
Like he clearly didn't like it being out there.
Right.
Yeah. It doesn't make it not true though.
Right.
Which is fascinating. And or maybe it's just that it affects his endorsement deal with Tim Hortons. Like, what do you mean you don't eat here? What do you mean you don't eat here?
Tim Hortons has bottled water.
The timer is up on the Avalanche. So quickly, where do they finish in the division?
First in the Central.
First.
First in the Central. That's all the way through.